Get off my lawn.
Don't get off his lawn. It annoys him.
Oh.
Anyways, we're here to do 205 Live. He's Byron. I'm Mike. Say hello to the people.
No.
And we're here to talk about 1 hour of wrestling dedicated to people 205 pounds and below.
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe, yes. Some of them are not under 205. I'm just saying.
Titus O'Neil, not under 205.
Well, Titus O'Neil's not on the show as a wrestler. He's there as a personality.
Not yet.
So we get a TJP Neville package, which is fine. Builds up the main event. I'm fine with it. Then we have Noam Dar versus Cedric Alexander. But before that, Noam Dar has the most stupid promo ever. Because his promo basically is, Cedric Alexander needs to move on. I understand that it hurt to lose Alicia Fox. But she's mine now, and Cedric needs to move on. The problem with this promo is that last week, Cedric made it really clear that he had moved on.
That is correct.
And this really doesn't work. It also doesn't work because Cedric actually dumped Alicia Fox. So, yeah, nothing about this angle works the way... Like, it shouldn't be hard. Guy steals other guy's girlfriend. This is, like, one of the most basic wrestling stories, and they have butchered it.
Yeah, if I was a female human and I was dating Cedric Alexander and I had the opportunity to leave Cedric Alexander for a pair of legs with a toupee, I probably wouldn't do it in the first place.
Oh, it's ignoring that. Like you can totally leave Cedric Alexander for Noam Dar. You just have to like book it with like logic. Everything has been wrong about this feud.
Yeah.
Anyways, we end up with a match off of this. Alexander in control kind of early. A lot of nice stiff striking for him. Some high-flying stuff. When Dar was in control, it wound up being methodical arm work again, which... just let Noam Dar wrestle as Noam Dar.
Yeah. I still have not seen that. I'm tempted to try and track down some indie stuff because I still don't know why I'm supposed to give a crap about Noam Dar.
You see it a little bit when he starts throwing some kicks, because he throws pretty good kicks. It's just, like, every match they have him work the arm for his non-existent arm finisher and slow it down, and it's just not working. It's just not working, and it's not Dar's fault.
No, I rarely ever blame the wrestling on the wrestler unless it's very obvious that it's the wrestler.
Yeah, unless the wrestler is just bad. Like this is they're having him work something that is not him.
Yeah, and I'm perfectly cognizant of that. I just don't like. I would like to see some reason why I'm supposed to care about Noam Dar being a bad guy. I don't care. Right now, I do not care. So, change it.
Yep. This wrestling style doesn't really work at Cruiserweight anyways.
No. There's way too much of... It's getting to the point where the word methodical is becoming a curse word. Because all I see are these really methodical matches.
Pretty much. And that doesn't really belong in the Cruiserweight division where pace and excitement should be the absolute priority.
Yarp. Anybody wants to see some cruiserweight action? ECW Psychosis versus that there Rey Mysterio feller. That was pretty cool.
Super crazy. Even his stuff with Tajiri.
Yes.
Hell, his stuff with Nunzio is good.
Nunzio was so good. Vastly underrated.
Mm-hmm. But my point is like Nunzio shows you how you don't need like all killer athletes to make it work. Because he really wasn't.
No, and he was not really a high flyer either. He was just really good fundamentally in the ring, and he knew exactly what he needed to do in that ring to get people over.
Exactly. Dar ends up rocking Cedric with a kick in the corner, but he runs right into the lumbar check and gets pinned. Not a bad match, but it was a match that left me going, it was a match.
Yeah, the match wasn't very good. It was serviceable. Again, there's a lot of that going around these days. But I really did like the finish. I thought the finish was really dynamic. It really got over that he could probably hit the lumbar check from not maybe anywhere, but you got to watch yourself. And they really put that move over as being something that can be quick, fast, in a hurry, and devastating, which I enjoyed. Although it wasn't, he hit him in the upper back, not the lower back, and the lumbar is the lower back. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that's if that was just not quite hit correctly. I hesitate to use the word botch. It wasn't botched, but I wonder if it was a technical mistake, or if he's been told not to hit dudes in the lower back anymore. The problem with that is that Roderick Strong does, I believe, a very similar move called the End of Heartache. So maybe we shouldn't be mixing up moves like that. If we're not going to let the hot, high-flying Japanese lady use the elbow drop because it's Bayley's move, maybe we should protect Roddy Strong a little bit.
At this rate, that might not be a problem.
Yeah, after they release her on Thursday, which is when you're going to be hearing this.
Yeah. Anyways, standard match. Just on a high note, Roderick Strong and Killswitch Engage are actually talking on Twitter about doing something. I don't know. I don't know what that would be, but that has apparently started. So.
Be still my kick drumming heart.
Then we had a hype package for TJP, which was fine. And then we had... This was a little bit weird because TJP kind of played a little bit of the face through some of the rest of the show, but like he blows off the interview bot with basically saying, am I supposed to tell you a sob story? No. I was doing this for everyone else before. Now I'm doing it for me. And it was kind of a very heel promo for what some of the rest of this kind of seemed like a face transition.
Yeah, I think they just needed him. They needed him to be the face for the match. They didn't need him to turn face. So I thought he did an excellent job of really straddling the line. He had the people behind him, but he didn't really care because he's the heel.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't bad, just, I don't know. I felt it was kind of clunky. Then we had an NXT package, which I don't know why you would have an NXT package on 205. I'm sorry. The audience for the other is larger than this. So
yes, that is correct.
I don't really know what you're doing there. But then we had Mustafa Ali versus Louis Valley. I was thinking this would be a squash match, but it was really kind of 50-50 to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know why they keep doing these goddamn matches. They're it was kind of I expected wrongly, but I kind of expected Nakamura to have a big beatdown win over Owens on SmackDown. That didn't happen, and in retrospect,
that was never going to happen. Yeah,
it's a stupid idea because you can't do that to the champion. The problem is that they are doing that to a lot of their champions. They're also, they're having these weird, and I'm going to use air quotes, competitive matches that are not only are they not needed, but they're poorly timed and poorly placed with the wrong opponent. Like, why did we have this weirdly competitive match with Ziggler and Nakamura on the pay-per-view for his debut? That was the dumbest thing ever. Why are we having a competitive match with Drew McIntyre on NXT against a guy who hasn't been on TV for 9 months? I mean, if you're going to have a competitive match, you have it against Orny Lorcan or somebody like that. Like somebody people know. No Way Jose. People know and kind of like No Way Jose. But against this guy who I guess was a tag champ like a year before.
During a rather dark period in the tag team division.
Yeah. And he hasn't been on TV since last October. I think when I looked it up, that was the case. And they keep doing things like that. And it doesn't really make any sense. And if you're trying to get Mustafa Ali over as the next big face, you probably don't want to have him being competitive against the local guy.
Or, like, at the end of the match, towards the end of the match, Gulak came out with the megaphone, which actually really added to the gimmick. I actually really like that.
Somebody get that boy in touch with the Mouth of the South. This would be the best dynamic duo.
But basically Gulak's saying if Ali keeps listening to the crowd, he will never reach his full potential. This is a no-fly zone. Had he been doing that the whole time? And like
That would be
Ali would
good.
beat down Valley and go up to the top and be like, I'm going to do a high flying move. And it was just like, no, don't do it with the megaphone. That would have worked. But we had like half this match occur before he came out. And even when he was out there, it's not like he just interfered, like kind of distracted Ali when Ali would go for like a kill or something. The match remained competitive. And
Yeah.
so I like the ending. I really do.
It was
Because Ali ended up winning the match without high flying. And Gulak is like, see, I told you. Join my campaign for a safer 205 Live, the no-fly zone. And Ali refused his offer basically by taking him out with a flying flip over the ropes.
good. Tope con Hilo!
Mhm.
Or it probably wasn't a Tope con Hilo, but I like saying it. Yeah, I really like the finish. I would have played it if I was a quick thinking son of a bitch. I would have told Mustafa Ali, go, okay, this is going to be the finish, and when you're done, and he tells you or asks you to join his thing, what you need to do is get over the fact that, of course, you could win on a mat-based wrestling. I mean, you're Mustafa Ali. You're great at this. You do. You know, I mean, you could have been doing this the whole time. You know, this is beyond question. You get that kind of thing over. That would have been my move, but that's a little fantasy booking.
No, and I would be down for that. But I'm liking the Gulak Ali program, just not this match.
Yeah, it was not timed quite correctly.
We had a Rich Swann package. I don't mean it was his package. I mean it was a video package. And then we had Akira Tozawa and Rich Swann chatting backstage. Titus cuts in. Basically dismisses Rich Swann.
Well, can I holler at my boy Tawaza?
Waza. And then we have Titus. I was talking with your best friend Apollo Crews, and he thought you would be Titus brand material. You don't need an answer right away. Go home, talk to your best friend Apollo Crews, and holler back at me.
Apollo. Can we just pause for a second and get over just how good Tozawa is? Because all of the little facial movements, he wasn't doing anything. He was just standing there. He wasn't even looking in the camera. And you're right there with him. He's so goddamn good. That guy could be the next Rey Mysterio or bigger if Vince could get his head out of his geriatric butt.
Yeah, he's Japanese, so he probably will become a non-English speaking foreigner at some point.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason, because he's over.
Okay, so here's the deal. In like 6 months after they've done doing all these weirdly flat competitive matches with Nakamura, they're going to reform Kaientai with Tozawa, Nakamura, and I don't know, anybody else. They'll probably sign Kota Ibushi just to throw him in that fucking shithole.
Well, they keep trying to sign Kota Ibushi, and he keeps saying no.
Yeah, well, he wants to work with his boy Omega. They want to do a program of some sort in Japan as kind of a. I think if they got that together and they did their program in Japan, then both of them would probably sign with the WWE in not too short order.
Just frankly a reason why Japan probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. But can you wait 2 or 3 months?
yeah. But yeah, so this was good. I enjoyed it, although it seemed very out of place because on Raw, Tozawa was watching Apollo Crews' match with Kalisto, or it wasn't Apollo Crews, it was Titus O'Neil facing Kalisto.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to talk to Tozawa backstage after that match right away, and they had Tozawa watching it. It feels like that was supposed to happen after this.
Maybe people are just asleep at the wheel.
It seems like this is just out of order because it seemed like Tozawa was surprised to being talked about Titus Brand with. So
I just like this. Apollo, your best friend Apollo Crews. Apollo.
Then we had we had a Money Bank package and a Lesnar on Raw package. So we have the hype videos, and we finally get to the main event of the evening: TJP versus Neville I really like this match.
It was a damn good match.
It was a damn good match.
I
Literally,
of this match, I just have one request.
Okay.
Can we get Mustafa Ali versus Grand Metalik 25 minutes next week? That's all I want.
Ooh, I mean, that wouldn't be the ideal partnership, but I'd be down for it.
Yeah. Carry on.
The literally worst part of this match was commentary trying to bring the Jose Aldo Max Holloway fight into a reference here, which it didn't work. It did not work. That was literally the worst part of this. This was good. It started a little bit slow. We had it build up. Did some great stuff. There was a tarantula spot, which I will always mark out for. It's in bold capital letters here in my notes.
Tarantula.
We got some really good match wrestling from both these guys. I like the fact that TJP was still working heel, not just simply being a face heel dynamic. So we had kind of a heel match here because TJ was pulling the hair. He was pulling the hair. He was taking liberties with the fingers. He was doing, that stuff that a heel is supposed to do, and it was good. It was really good.
Yeah. I really would like them to continue. I want this feud to continue and to get more and more savage, and like they'll just push each other to the brink of absolute destruction. Kayfabe terms, not real life. I don't want them to actually destroy each other. That's where I would like this feud to go. I would like them to stay heel as much as possible. I don't want TJP to try and get over with the crowd, other than to like obviously be. He does stuff that's awesome and they like it. Other than that, yeah, I would like them to just go at it heel and prove to a lot of people that can work.
I wouldn't really oppose TJ going face just because the crowd was really into him, and we don't usually see that on 205 Live because historically we've had the burnt out crowd that's not being given much of a reason to care. But we got some TJP chance here. While Neville was beating the piss out of him with smashing his face first into the announce desk, battering him off the barricades. It was just good stuff. A lot of good stuff here with the nice twisting crossbody from TJP to the outside was really good. There was a little logic flaw after that. So TJP hits his move and then Neville gets back in the ring before TJP, despite the fact it was TJP who hit the move. So that's kind of just bad wrestling logic. Like the dude who did the offense should recover faster. Otherwise, why did he do the move?
Yeah.
But it was that's a little thing.
There are some times and there are some wrestlers that you can pull that off with. I would point out Rob Van Dam. His, he in character would always do the craziest thing, and you could totally buy the fact that he probably screwed himself up way harder than he did any damage to his opponent.
Rolling Thunder.
Yeah. Rolling Thunder, I never understood why he sold that so hard, but whatever. Yeah, there are some times and people and places that you can pull that off with, but this was not one of them.
Mm-hmm. Got a lovely double chicken wing gunbuster from TJ. I want to see that more of that move, please.
I looked it up. Apparently, it was a finisher he used to use, and my brain's blanking on what it was called. I'm going to look it up right now.
I can't really recall it, and I'm pretty familiar with TJ Perkins' work. Possible, I don't know. I must have missed it. But that was good.
T. Perkins. Where is it? Where's that stupid thing? He used to use it when he was manic/suicide.
Oh,
it's called Death from Above.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of that character.
It's so racist.
I like the manic promos, like when he was being asked if Joe was going to win, or it was like, can't remember who it was, like Ethan Carter versus Lashley or something like that. There was a title match, and he's doing the he's like wrestler A, wrestler B, wrestler A, wrestler B, Finkel or Eichhorn. He's just going through like famous pairings, and it's like, this is awesome. It was basically Deadpool in wrestler form.
That is fantastic. So yeah, it was called Death from Above.
I like the raw feeling of Neville's offense after a while. Like it was, he sold that he was getting incredibly frustrated. Like he would just, At one point, he just grabbed TJP's head and smashed it into the mat. Wasn't really a move, just absolutely wanting to break him.
Yep, and I also really like the last 2 or 3 minutes of this match. I really didn't know that I wanted TJP to get the win until the last couple of minutes of this match, and then I was like, "Oh, come on, come on, come on!" I was right in there. It was really, I haven't got that engaged in the finish for a match since probably the last time we watched New Japan, I think.
And we saw TJP starting to work a body part kind of correctly here. He started working the leg at the end, but he did it at the end where you could just kind of take it to the go-home spot and make it matter. So often in WWE right now, it's like, all right, first move, I'm going to work the leg, then I'm going to work the leg, then I'm going to work the leg, then I'm going to stop working the leg for no apparent reason, but then I'm going to work the leg. And here was done quite properly. He starts working the knee bar, dragon screw takedown, drop kick to the knee, etc. And then we had TJP locked Neville in the knee bar. Neville's reaching for the ropes. He can't reach it. And the beauty of this is he actually can't reach it, unlike every other time they do this.
It's like physics are a thing.
TJP pulls him towards the center to try to pull him further from the ropes, and then we get a near fall. We get 2 rings of Saturn spots, which TJ passes out in. I thought originally, because in the first view I didn't see the tap. And it wasn't until a couple of replays later that the tap was shown. I was kind of angry about that because he was not in the hold long enough to pass out. But then when they did show that he did in fact tap, that made it okay.
Yeah, the first time, like when the match ended, my initial reaction was like, "Is this a screw job? Like, was this screw job finished? Did Vince just say go home?" And then I was like, "Well, maybe he verbally tapped, and I just didn't catch it." And then I caught it later on.
Mm-hmm. This was a really good match. This was the other 2 matches were not great, and that's a problem with 205 Live is that I should get nothing but very good matches.
Yeah.
Or they're matches that are like squash matches, or they're matches to kind of advance a storyline, and they're bad because they're advancing that storyline, which is fine. But here, you had a pretty lackluster one between Dar and Alexander. Not to mention the bad logic of that feud at this point. Yeah. Then you had Mustafa Ali have this bizarrely competitive squash match. But we brought it home with a great title match. And overall, I liked the show. I got to give it a thumbs up.
Yep. I was infotained from front to virtual end.
So we're heading into NXT with us being really happy about 6 hours of WWE television, to be honest. We both really liked Raw. I like SmackDown. You were a little more lukewarm on it. And then we both liked this.
It was serviceable. There was some stuff on there that I wanted to be a lot better and should have been a lot better. Mm-hmm. So it was just okay.
That is the name of the game with WWE right now, because there's a lot of wrestlers that we're massive, massive fans of there. I think a lot of people are, that are not being allowed to do what makes them awesome. In some cases, it's acceptable, because sometimes what made you so awesome is that you were probably going to die. Like, I'm going to use Brian Kendrick as an example. Back in the days in ROH, "Don't die, please don't die, Spanky," being a chant was probably a sign that you did, in fact, have to tame your offense down. But
that was Paul London.
Was it Paul London? Pardon me.
They had a whole DVD from ROH called "Please Don't Die."
Well, they also did it. They did it for Spanky a couple times too. I do specifically recall this. But yeah, Paul London was even worse. So adorable. Paul London was even worse.
London calling.
But you got a bunch of guys on the roster that can do something unique and interesting, and you're not letting them do it, and it's not in the interests of safety. It's
correct.
So I have to ask, if it's not in the interest of safety, what is it? And I don't think WWE would actually really have an answer for that.
Yeah, it's because it's not their style, and Vince doesn't like it.
Yeah, but the style evolves to what the people want.
Nope. Vince's style, Vince will tell you what you want. That's it.
I mean, keep it, case in point, Brock Lesnar's style is not WWE style. It's over as hell. Rob Van Dam's style was not WWE style. Over as hell. It's good to have different styles, and they don't seem to be getting that right now.
There is. I just had a brainwave. And I believe I'm creating a brand new, fresh saying right now that variety might, in fact, be the spice of life.
It's a stunning saying if it hasn't been said before.
I don't believe it has. I think that's a brand new concept that I just invented and am not speaking in sarcastic terms whatsoever.
I assure you that Vince McMahon would really appreciate to know this saying.
I would probably try and get it to him, but all of my letters just get intercepted.
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure there's actually a Byron incinerator in Titan Towers.
Shazbot. I bet you it's Skinner running it the whole time, too.
Nah, Duke the Dumpster.
That could be. Barry Horowitz, maybe?
Barry Horowitz would work as well, yeah. So we're really off topic at this point, but we like the show. We hope you did as well, and we hope next week is even better. So for now, that's all. We're going to be back at you with some Lucha Underground stuff before the week is done.
I don't believe you. I think you're just going to go to bed.
Well, it's not tonight. I am going to bed after this.
See? Told you.
But we will do it. Sir, when I say we do stuff, we do stuff. I don't know why you got to slander me like this.
It's past 2 p.m. Mio's got to go to bed.
It's actually midnight, okay? Have a good night, everybody, and we will talk to you about Lucha Underground in the near future. And we're actually, I think I'm pumped for wrestling. I think you are as well.
That is correct.
Excellent. We may or may not, in fact, be hype.
Hype.